As we get set for the 2019 Subway Bowl here from BC Place, it's the Vancouver College Fighting Irish taking on the Panthers of Lord Tweedsmuir. And Travis, this Vancouver College team, ranked number 1 coming into the season, find themselves in the Subway Bowl at the end of the year and just putting up astonishing numbers both offensively and defensively. Tweedsmuir is going to have their hands full here this evening.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this matchup. These are two teams I've obviously heard a lot about over the years, given some of the people that I know that are affiliated with the programs. Obviously, some of these, the Van College alums, Angus Reid, who got a shout out in the last broadcast there, but Brian Chu, who's on the offensive coaching staff here now, started the year with the Lions, and you know what the Lions losing Brian Chu meant Van College got an experienced, ready alum of a coach and an offensive line group. And on the Lord Tweedsmuir side, obviously I know good friend, teammate, and workmate of mine, G. Roy Simon's son, played for the Tweedsmuir team the last few years. So I've heard a lot about this program. I know I have a neighbor boy down in Blaine, Washington, just across the border where we call home at night. My neighbor played for the Blaine Borderite High School football team. Tweedsmuir played them in the early season and shut them out. So I know this Tweedsmuir team can really play. Blaine's small school in Washington, but a proud little football town, and Tweedsmuir beat them pretty soundly. So I've just heard a lot about these two programs over the years, and I, for one, am excited about this matchup tonight.
Well, Tweedsmuir maybe overachieving a little bit coming into this playoff matchup, but full marks for getting here, as Van College will wear their purples on purple on purple, where Tweedsmuir in their white helmets, white jerseys, white pants with the green trim in there for Ken Thornton's Lord Tweedsmuir Panthers. And on the other side, Tom Burnett, and what a job he has done all season long, slowly building this program up, and through the last couple of months, it's just been unbelievable. Check this out, Travis Lule. 8-0 since the beginning of October. Points for and points against in that 8-0 run here for the Irish. 305 to the good. 21 points against. They have not allowed a touchdown. Or excuse me, they've allowed 3 touchdowns since September. That's it.
I mean, that's an incredible number, and that obviously speaks to not just the players, but the coaching staff. As you mentioned, the staff obviously deserves a lot of credit being here, but everything I've heard about this Van College team to this point, just how sound they are. This is a team, and I liken it to the Calgary Stampeders the last few years, probably been the most dominant team in the Canadian Football League, where the comment about the team is they just don't beat themselves. They're always in position. They make you earn everything, and it's tough to beat that consistently when you got to line up for 48 minutes of good football against these guys. So that said, you got to play the game, my friend. And as they say, anything can happen in a championship setting. So Lord Tweedsmuir, I'm sure, and their coaching staff has had their hands full with the things they're going to do to try to attack this stout Van College defense. And something's got to give. Something
is about to give, as the Panthers will kick away here to the Irish to start this one. Lord Tweedsmuir with a 26-14 win over Notre Dame. Kick it off. Let's play some Subway Bowl football. As a rather short kick taken by one of the upbacks here for the Irish. And they'll have decent field position to start this one, as Tioli gets it back out to the 33-yard line. So Tweedsmuir getting past the 2017 Subway Bowl champions in the New Westminster Hyaks 36-7 in the quarterfinal matchup, getting past Notre Dame 26-14 in the semi. And here they are up against Vancouver College, who takes the first snap on their opening drive. It's Nyvlt on the handoff to Deshaun Johnson. And he'll spin left for a couple. And the numbers for Deshaun Johnson on the season are just ridiculous. 25 touchdowns, over 1,400 yards. Travis, the kid averages almost 9 yards per carry.
And so
what
does that mean? You want to give him the football. And I talked to Coach Brian Chu before the game here, and I said, well, yeah, you know, what are you gonna do? What do you got up your sleeve? So there's no secrets here. We're going to try to pound the rock.
And we'll see the offense out for Tweedsmuir, which is very prolific and dynamic, as Nyvlt will drop back to throw on second down. He'll sling one out there. He's got Soriano, breaks free from a tackle. He's got a first down as he reaches for a couple of more, and he's into Panther territory to the 49-yard line.
Really nice throw, just
spotted on the 50, excuse me.
One-on-one, just a simple curl route on the outside. Again, Lord Tweedsmuir's got to respect the box. We just spoke on Deshaun Johnson's running game that Vancouver College possesses here, but it's going to create some one-on-one matchups. And when you got a guy like Soriano out there one-on-one, they're taking advantage early on.
The MVP of high school football, Jason Soriano, and he split wide to this near boundary one-on-one. And look out, Nyvlt not going to be shy to take a crack downfield as a whistle goes before the snap of the football. And we got a false start here on Van College, who come in tow with a pretty healthy bench along the sideline as well. They run deep here at Van College.
Yeah, looks a little different than the Vernon Langley sidelines we just saw, and those rosters were a little bit more thin. But, yeah, this Van College, that's a lot of purple, my friend.
I don't mind it. 14th appearance since 1991 here for Van College. So that's more or less getting into the Subway Bowl almost every 2 years. Pretty impressive stuff for one of the best programs in the province. Nyvlt with time in the pocket. Now he's going to run. Track down from behind, tucks it away, and gets tripped up in behind the line of scrimmage. Well, the original one at that after the penalty, as it'll be second down and about 12 to go after the run for Nyvlt, who is the team leader here on offense for this Fighting Irish unit. And Tom Burnett out onto the field for this next play call. And what a culture he has built. And reading Howard Samura's article pregame, as I think too many men in the huddle here on Tweedsmuir will give the Irish a free 5 yards, but the culture that Tom Burnett has really built at Vancouver College, and giving an example, when the JVs are coming off the field at the end of practice, the seniors are there waiting at the sideline, chomping on the bit just as it's starting to get to dark. They want to get out on the field, and before the coaches are even out of the dressing room, they have the blocking sleds, the dummies, they're running drills without any coaching staff out on there, and you just don't see that sort of thing at the high school level. These kids are motivated on their own, and it's because of the culture that the head coach has instilled in them.
Yeah, I mean, culture is the key word there. And
here's Nyvlt, time in the pocket, looks deep down the sideline. Soriano coming back to the football, makes the catch, and scores a touchdown. Are you kidding me?
What a play. Oh, boy, I tell you what, if you're Van College, look at the sidelines here, how fired up the team is, the fans are, but that's just a tremendous catch. And we spoke on it on the outset here. Jason Soriano's a name you're going to hear a number of times today, coming up with a huge play. Just a really nice job here. He's open. He's got to step down the field, and this ball is...
The adjustment, though, Travis.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He slipped to the inside, and the ball was kind of thrown outside, and Soriano makes a beautiful adjustment to the ball, catching in traffic. Looked eerily reminiscent of my teammate and now former teammate Brian Burnham, and going up making a contested catch, fighting over the goal line. Just a tremendous start for this Van College team.
How do you spell MVP? Soriano. My goodness, Jason Soriano putting his footprint.
Oh,
there's a blocked extra point attempt. That's a dead ball, and we don't see Kolb miss too many extra point attempts, but a big block there from Tweedsmuir. But how about it from the MVP, Soriano, making an impact early in this game with a monster catch for a touchdown, as the Irish are off and running here in this first quarter, as you'll watch the block once again. And just a big pop in the middle of that pile there, knocking that one down for Naherney.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Jake, I was mid-sentence as that ball was being snapped, and just what caught my eye was the streaking number 14 down the left sideline. Sure enough, I look in the backfield, and Nyvlt's looking the same way. Soriano finished that one off, make a play. But you can see the just the burst he's got off the line of scrimmage. So when you combine a little speed like that and with an ability to go get a ball in a contested matchup, that makes for an MVP-type player.
Well, that's what makes this Vancouver College team so dynamic and dangerous. They just have weapons all over the field, and you can't cover them all. Here's the kick, and Kolb's got a big leg, and he drives this one down to the 2-yard line.
Great kick.
And here comes the return on for the Panthers. And Van College down pretty quickly. Will stop him shy of the 20-yard line. As States Jones ran into a purple roadblock there. But here come the Panther offense, and it was the change at quarterback by Thornton that really going to spark this playoff run here for Lord Tweedsmuir, going with Kashawn Dorsey at the pivot in favor of Terrell Jones, who will see significant time on offense in a variety of ways. But it's been Kashawn Dorsey through the last 2 playoff games as he'll start at quarterback here for Lord Tweedsmuir. Can they penetrate this Van College defense is the question. Here's a handoff on first down, and that one goes nowhere. Terrell Jones, the aforementioned, on the carry. Stopped pretty quickly there.
Yeah, a little fly sweep action, quick handoff in front, right to left, just trying to widen this Van College defense, move them laterally side to side, but a little bit of penetration just stuffs that thing out.
Yeah, I look down at this Vancouver College sideline, Travis. I mean, check it out. They got the purple boxes down there. They got the warm-up bikes going. They got the trainer's table happening. Like, it is a professionally run outfit here for the Irish. No detail is left unmarked. There's a sack. And a big one. And that one goes for a loss of what, Travis? About 8 yards. Yikes.
Yeah. That's a big play as we watch the replay here. Just really nowhere to go with the football. This penetration happens quickly. That's Josh Singh in the backfield right now, wrapping him up, throwing him to the ground, setting up a 3rd and long, and all the early momentum clearly in Van College's favor here.
Ball is on the 11-yard line. Got to get to the 29 for a first down here for the Panthers, and you got to be careful in this area of the football field. You don't come up with a turnover. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. Dorsey, fake the handoff. He'll roll out, look downfield, now makes a cut, and he'll get a few yards back, but not many as he gets out to the 14-yard line, and the Panthers will have to kick away, and that's just what this Vancouver College defense has been doing to teams all season long, especially since the turn of the calendar into October. I believe their last loss came at the hands of the South Delta Sun Devils.
Only loss.
Their only loss, thank you. In a game that I think, if I recall, I should look back at my stats, but I think they gave up about 38 points in that game.
That's what it was. You got it.
And they have not looked back since. I don't know what the change was or what happened, but man, have they ever been impressive since that day. Pretty good kick. Gets it out past the 45, but Van College is going to start with a short field here at the 46-yard line of Tweedsmuir.
Yeah, and we talked in the AA game just about how important it is to set up a balanced offensive attack. And funny enough, we talk about how they want to pound the rock and they're going to run the ball between the tackles. And it's a big one-on-one pass play down the field that opens up the scoring for Van College. Right now, again, they got all the momentum. They really got a chance to make a big mark early in this football game with great field position on their second drive, already up 6-0.
From the 46-yard line, right hash mark for Nyvlt, and he'll drop back. Draw play here for Johnson. And pretty good defense there for the Panthers as they converge on number 2 to stop him for no gain.
Yeah, that's a big first down by this Tweedsmuir defense. As we mentioned, the momentum being in Van College's favor. This is how you get rid of it, is to get some penetration on first down and get a big stop, and just to see a little pep in their step. It's punch, counter punch so often as the momentum goes, and Tweedsmuir's got the opportunity to punch back now.
Yeah, good luck at Panther Nation on this 2nd down and 9 here for Van College. They start Johnson in motion on a sweep, and it's a handoff. And look out.
Uh-oh.
Soriano, and he's got another touchdown, Irish.
Wow. Wow.
Soriano coming out of the Irish backfield, and he went into the end zone from 30 yards out untouched.
Oh, this man has 3 touches in this game, 1 first down reception, and 2 long scoring plays.
What a cut.
I mean, Soriano's obviously a dynamic player, but tip your hat to that offensive line. Soriano, love those boys up because Jake, I think I might have been able to run through that hole.
Well, that's not stepping out on a pretty thin line in there, Travis.
I don't know if I'd have run as quickly across the stripe as Soriano did there, but
well, yeah, time to look over the left shoulder, look over the right shoulder.
Yeah, almost looked in disbelief that there was no one
open.
around. I think he was just hoping there was no flags. Is this real? Yep, we're up 2 scores.
You get
in the early going here.
You got to look at the 2 benches. There's the Tweedsmuir bench, obviously a little displeased with the start, and then Vancouver College, who come firing out of the gates and find themselves with a 2-touchdown lead here to start this one, and we're not even halfway through this first quarter as you get another look at the MVP, Soriano. Looks like a football player, doesn't he?
Sure does. Eye blacked out. He's smiling. Good reason to be smiling, but you can see just the body language in this early going. Tweedsmuir really needs something to get them going and get them right back in this football game. Well, a lot of football left.
Obviously, and congratulations to the Vernon Panthers, by the way, who claimed their second AA championship in the last 2 years. And there's another good special teams tackle made there on the play to limit the return of Stomperud. As you get a look at the rowers, they call them, Travis. I was calling them lunatics a week ago. There was about 6 or 7 of them topless down on the front row, and they've added to the lunatics, or the rowers, if you will, here for the Fighting Irish. They've come out in full force in a packed BC place for this Subway Bowl. You knew the Irish were going to come strong for this championship game.
We're wearing jackets to keep us warm. I think they're just wearing a little adrenaline.
I'm wearing 3 jackets right now, Travis. A handoff here on first down, and maybe a yard. And what makes this game, and I talked about it in the AA final. By the way, Belias asking us a question. If you want to be interactive on the broadcast here on Sports Canada TV, feel free to get at us. My man Travis Lulay, simple, at Travis Lulay. And if you want to find myself, I am at PXP, the number 4 Sports. And he's asking us, what's the difference between AAA and AA football? And the answer is quite simple. It's just the amount of students enrolled in the school. And if you're under a certain number, you're AA. And if you're over a certain number, you're AAA. And that's about as simple as I can explain it. Thank you for the question. If you have any more questions, comments, concerns, keep them coming. Twitter feed is always open, and we're welcome to your feedback at all times. There's a flag down on the play. It'll go against the Irish, I believe. A 5-yard penalty. It'll be 2nd and 5 here for Tweedsmuir. And to go back to it, Travis, that's what makes this game a little extra special between these two football teams, is going back to 2017 when these two clubs met in the JV final 2 years ago, and it was the Panthers who came out on top in that game in Vancouver College's only loss of the year. So all those grade 10ers now in grade 12 is a long throw here from Dorsey, one-on-one out on the edge. Oh, it's almost caught through the fingertips. Intended for Jones as it falls to the turf. But a chance for redemption for the Sorianos and Deshaun Johnsons and the Nyvlts, who lost that game, their only game in the championship game in that JV final 2 years ago. And you don't ever really get that opportunity to get redemption. Not only get redemption, but to get it against the same team that beat you.
Yeah, and it was a couple of years ago, but there's no way these guys don't remember that outcome, right? And so it is. It is a special opportunity. As you say, it's a rare one. You don't get that chance to be back in a championship position, but let alone to do it against the guys who had the better hand the first go-around.
Screenplay. Dorsey makes the completion, but they're on the second level to make the tackle immediately on the reception and stop it for no gain. As that was Simon Smith in on the tackle, I believe. Let's watch it again here on the replay. Set up the screen nicely, but it was number 20 that came busting through there. Yeah. And Jackson Finley, one of the leading tacklers of this Irish defense. 6 picks along to go with it during the season for Finley. One of the real standouts on the defensive side. A high snap. Look out over the head of Jones. It's rolling back to his own end zone. And now he's going to take a knee, but it'll be a safety. Yes, it will be a safety. And I was wondering whether he played that ball on the other side of the goal line before going back into his end zone. And now Jones comes up clutching his hamstring here, and this is going from bad to worse here for the Panthers.
Yeah, I don't know where in the process he might have tweaked what looks like maybe a hamstring. Either way, we're hoping he shakes it off and he's all right. But again, another momentum play. It's just heavy in Van College's favor right now. Tweedsmuir's going to need to find a way to come up with a stop or create a big turnover on defense to shift it a little bit back in their favor.
Well, tough play there, and now a free kick here to come as Jones staying out there as he's going to tee this one up on the 20-yard line. How about this Vancouver College contingent of fans down here? They are having a party in BC Place, and their team is up 13-0 with 4.5 minutes to go in this opening quarter of this 2019 Subway Bowl.
That's big energy, Jake. I'm going to keep an eye on this student cheering section.
No, they're not going to sit down the entire game. They won't. I guarantee it. They're going to stand the entire game. They're going to stay topless as well. Here is Johnson running hard to the left. He'll get back out across the 45-yard line. And again, the Vancouver College offense comes onto the field in a bit of a longer field, but still just 65 yards to go. And that's one thing Tweedsmuir cannot do is keep giving the Irish short fields to work with.
Yeah, absolutely not, especially a balanced attack when the momentum's in their favor. You got to find a way to shift the field. And right now, you got to be thinking of 3 and out, getting a big stop, getting the ball back, or finding a way to create a turnover.
Here's Nyvlt on the pitch to Johnson, running to his right, stringing it out, still on his feet, and gets out of bounds after gaining a couple of yards. For number 2, his twin brother, Keyshawn, wears number 1. It just so happens I went to high school at Centennial with their mother, Leah, who is such a big fan of her boys, obviously, and has, really put her life on hold to excel their sons' football careers. And I know how much this game means to her to have her boys in it, and she's here cheering them on. And just knowing her through her life and what she's done for her boys to get to this point is a very proud moment for her. And I know Deshaun and Keyshawn are very thankful for all she's done. Oh, look at this play. Complete. Finley on a little razzle-dazzle from the Irish.
Well executed. That's tough. That's got to happen. That's a lot of moving parts in a pretty short time frame there. You see the play starts off, looks like a toss sweep, flip it back to the quarterback, Nyvlt. A wide open guy down the field. Tweedsmuir was fortunate to get a little bit of pressure on him. He couldn't throw that ball down the field, or else we might have had another big score right off the bat. But as is, drive continues in great field position for Van College.
This is Benefield showing up late to the party here. He's not wearing his hat either right now, Travis. He's got it in his hand. I don't know where Benefield was. He's just showing up to the sideline now. Here's Nyvlt on the rollout, looking downfield into the end zone, pointing, holding, evades one man, and then he's going to go down. And a real important defensive play there from Tweedsmuir to get to the quarterback and sack him. As Liam Harrison wrapping up. I think, again, that's a good coverage sack there and a good decision from Nyvlt not to try and force something downfield. Take the sack, live to play another down.
Yeah, it looked like there may have been a little confusion. A couple of the receivers were pretty close together for Van College. If you're Nyvlt, you're coaching, you'd like to see him throw that football away to not lose yards, but you're right. It's taking a sack is better than forcing a ball.
This is Shinkarol. He'll get back across the original line in a gain of about 5 and bring up 3rd and 9. Shinkarol coming back off a lengthy injury for the grade 10 MVP that he picked up wrestling. And another multi-sport athlete. And Shinkarol just kind of gives you a little change of pace coming out of the backfield as Johnson comes back into the game. 2 wide, 1 in the slot. Here's a play action. Nyvlt rolling out across his body, now upfield, and he'll throw this one away. As everybody covered off pretty well. Good defense there by the Panthers.
Oh, we got a flag.
Well, we do indeed, as it lays down at the 34-yard line. Is this a late hit on the quarterback? Intentional grounding.
Intentional grounding. I thought there was a receiver.
And I thought out of the tackle box as well and past the line of scrimmage with the throw. But maybe not, actually. Now that I look at the sticks here, Travis, I think that might have been the issue, is that the pass didn't get past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, kind of tough to tell from our angle, but I got to believe that must have been the ruling.
Because well outside the tackle box, and that was, in fact, a throwaway. Let's see, that thing goes out about the 22. Yeah,
that's pretty close.
I think that's a good call from the officials.
Yeah. No, that's unfortunate because Nyvlt's trying to make the right play there and not lose yardage. Tweedsmuir not fooled by the play fake there on 3rd and 8. So they're in his face, and he's trying to save the field position, manage the game, and just gets tacked on for the – we got a fake.
Snap. They're going to try and run for it, and they're not going to get it. They will get some yards back, but I think Tweedsmuir will be happy to give up that and get the football back in pretty decent field position as well. They'll get this one at the 34 as they go with a bit of a direct snap and a fake punt. Yeah,
I tell you what, as you just mentioned, as if you're Tweedsmuir, that sequence of events couldn't have gone much better than it did for them just now. So not bad field position again, 34-yard line to start a drive, and Tweedsmuir looking to get a little traction here in this AAA championship.
Here comes Dorsey, Keyshawn Dorsey. He'll stand in the shotgun, send a man in motion, and States Jones takes the snap, drops back, pump fake, now wants to scramble, gets away. Here's Dorsey.
Face mask,
maybe.
That
one got yanked out of bounds by Keyshawn Johnson. And no flag on the play, and a gain of about 5 there for Dorsey and the Panthers.
It looked like he might have had an open guy here on the near side on a hitch, but either way, wasn't comfortable with it. Saw a lane, got upfield quickly, and got some positive yards on first down before getting tossed out of bounds there.
Yeah, pretty good tackle from Keyshawn Johnson as well. Well, that's the kind of athletic plays that Keyshawn Dorsey can make with his legs. Staring at a 2nd and 6 now after a 4-yard gain from the right hash mark at the 38. And he'll hand off up the middle. Busting through for a first down, and a nice run there by Noah Anderson. We'll move the sticks here for Lord Tweedsmuir. My goodness, Travis, did they ever need that first down?
Yeah, big time. Yeah, a couple of positive plays. Sometimes it doesn't take much to get you going. This is a nice job by that Tweedsmuir offensive line, giving Noah Anderson a lane and good hard downhill running. That's 2 positive plays in a row. Let's see if Tweedsmuir can run with a little bit of momentum.
Soriano on the tackle. As we get a look at the Baden football here, which sponsors high school football in BC. As they'll stay on that left hash mark. Ball now to the 46. Dorsey claps the hands. Anderson one more time. He's wrapped up immediately. And then gets thrown back into the backfield. Forward progress will leave him about a half a yard shy of the line of scrimmage.
I just got to admire the defensive pursuit by the Van College team, just swarming and right at the point of attack, but the way everybody runs to the football, all 11 guys were in and around the box by the time you hit the ground there, and that just speaks to, again, coaching, culture, effort, all of those things that make for good defense.
That thing almost came loose out of the hands of Anderson at the end because you got guys stacking him up, and then that third wave comes in, and they're trying to rip that thing free.
That's how they're coached. Once the momentum is stopped, everyone else is going to create a turnover.
2nd and 11. Here's Dorsey looking to throw. Here comes pressure. Out. Down he goes. Big-time sack here from the Irish. Back to the 29-yard line as they brought the jailbreak blitz.
Nice job by Marcus Tioli there with the angle. It looked like Dorsey was going to pull the old spinorama coming out the back door there, spinning to your blind side, but just really a nice angle by Tioli to cut him off, not let him escape, and force the big sack.
That's discipline, staying in your lane, knowing your assignment, and that's cover contain, right? That's the edge. You're responsible for protecting that outer edge, and that's exactly what Tioli did.
Yep. So often when you're rushing to a quarterback's blind side, and I did this a number of times in my career, where you could feel that that pressure coming from the left, and that guy doesn't take a proper angle. You can spin and win to the wide side, and if they lose contain, you're all by yourself. So that's really a critical play, particularly when you're a blitzer and you get those wide eyes because you see the quarterback in the backfield, as Marcus Tioli did right there, to be disciplined and stay to the quarterback's outside shoulder, and just creates a huge, huge loss on that 2nd down play to set up a 3rd and 26.
Oh, my goodness.
No offensive coordinator has a play for 3rd and 26.
How many plays are in the playbook for a 3rd and 26? As 12 minutes are in the books here from BC Place. 12 minutes to go to halftime here, and 15-0 Vancouver College as they score on their opening drive of the game on a bomb from Nyvlt to Soriano in the play of the game here so far, and they haven't looked back since. But I kind of felt like at the end of that first quarter, Tweedsmuir kind of started to find their legs a little bit, got a little bit momentum, started to move the football, And maybe they just kind of need to settle into this game a little bit and know that they can play with this college team.
Yeah, and that can absolutely be the case. As you mentioned, you don't know what a championship game's quite going to feel like. Obviously, with a couple of huge plays in that first quarter, Van College has kind of grabbed the early momentum. It did start to feel like Tweedsmuir was settling in here, and that is hugely important. There is still a ton of football left to play. But as we say, 3rd and 26 is a tough down and distance to convert.
Let's see how it plays out. Dorsey will just pitch it. This is Anderson just looking to get some yards back as he's cut down by the Vancouver College bench. I wanted to ask you about quarterback, and you mentioned the blind side and kind of standing in the pocket and being able to feel the pressure coming. Is that maybe the scariest thing that you have to do as a quarterback, knowing that you have that blind side, stand in the pocket knowing that pressure is coming off your blind side?
Yeah, I tell you what, that's where your prep, your study all comes into play, because at least if you know who's unblocked, you know where to expect it from. The toughest thing is when a guy who's supposed to be blocked goes unblocked and he surprises you and is in your face right now. Sometimes you just got to eat one, stand in there and throw it.
Here's Soriano on the return. Oh, he got blown up in front of the Vancouver College bench, left his feet. And not in a good way, as he got popped right on the numbers and went horizontal, but pops right back up to Soriano. And we'll get out there and play some offense. Watch the finish to this one. We're going to get a great camera angle on this hit right at the end of the play, right there.
What a hit. That's just good, hard football. I like to see it, as long as I'm not the guy being hit like that.
That's what football is all about right there. Clean hit right on the numbers, and both guys pop up unhurt. That's when you know it's a good tackle, when both guys bounce right back up.
Yeah, and playing fast. Rarely do you get hurt like that.
There's Nyvlt, the handoff to DJ. He'll duck under one tackle, and tell you what, so far, Lord Tweedsmuir has done a pretty nice job of limiting the runs for number 2 in purple.
Yeah. It's one of those things, he hasn't seen a lot of daylight yet. You got to believe that he's going to get some opportunities as the game goes on, but you're right. Got to tip your hat to Tweedsmuir having an eye on number 2 so far early in this football game.
Soriano with both Vancouver College touchdowns. He's split to this near boundary on the short side of the field at wide receiver this play on the 2nd and 8. As Nyvlt drops back, play action, now looks deep over the middle. Soriano on a go pattern. And he's got another touchdown, Irish.
Wow. I mean, what can you say? This is good coverage by Hayden Stomperud, the Tweedsmuir secondary there. But again, another contested play. Jason Soriano, you can see it. I mean, this guy has championship aspirations on his mind. Just a tremendous job of coming down with this football. Not just coming down with it, but breaking a tackle again and waltzing into the end zone for already his 3rd score here early in the 2nd quarter.
And how about Nyvlt standing in that pocket, knowing he's about to take a hit and still delivering the football on the money?
I tell you what, when you're throwing a ball up to a guy who you believe is going to come down with it, gives you that little bit of extra courage to stand in there and eat the hit when you think it's going to pay off with a big touchdown like that one just did.
Well, speaking of courage, Travis Lely, you got Benefield down on the sideline. Not only is he wearing that hat again, but he's down there in short sleeve T-shirt. That's courageous.
Courageous, call it courageous if you will. I have another word in mind, but that's a defensive guy. They're wired a certain way. Yes. I wouldn't expect anything different.
Indeed. As the Irish off and running here in this opening half, 22-0. And the rowers are going nuts here at BC Place, as Soriano putting on a show here in the Subway Bowl. And we're only in the 2nd quarter. 3 touchdowns on the game so far for 14. And I just don't know how you stop him. Well, we saw Zach Smith in the AA final at quarterback for Vernon, and different position and star player and all the rest of it. Different type of player, Soriano, but having the exact same impact on the game, just making plays.
Yeah, absolutely. As we talked, we've got a little burst here and decent return here from Tweedsmuir. But yeah, we talked about them slowing down Deshaun Johnson here in the early going, but something's got to give, right? If you got extra guys in the box and eyes on number 2, that opens up that downfield play action game. And again, we mentioned this a couple times early already here, but you set up a one-on-one scenario down the field like that, they put the ball up and give your playmaker a chance to make a play, and that's what Soriano's been able to do on the back end and finish those things off with long touchdowns.
And now Tweedsmuir has got to find a way to move the football here a little bit and try and control the clock in this second quarter. You cannot afford a 3-and-out here if you're the Panthers. As Dorsey cocks the leg, sends State Jones in motion, and he'll hand off. Jones, I believe, on the carry. No, it's Anderson one more time, excuse me, as he'll surge ahead and ends up getting a pretty decent spot here of about 5 yards.
Yep, good first down run. Offensive coordinator.
Take
2nd and 5 all day long.
Yeah, might have helped. The Irish might have helped that run a little bit there, shoving him forward. And do we have an injured Panther down on a knee here? I think we're going to get an injury timeout. We will. As they are still standing down just off to our broadcast right here, Travis. Again, I got 2 pairs of socks, 2 pairs of pants, 3 sweatshirts, a toque. These guys are lined up along the front row, topless, for this Subway Bowl, watching their Vancouver College Irish, Fighting Irish, and a 22-0 lead here over the Panthers in this second quarter. And it is a great crowd on hand here for the Subway Bowl. There they are.
Whose faces they got on those signs there? Who do you identify? See one?
I think they got Coach Burnett up there, maybe. I don't know.
It's hard to see through the purple.
Here's the shotgun snap for Dorsey. Time in the pocket. Now he wants to scramble. He's got the happy feet as he looks down, fires, got a completion.
Nice
Jones turns it upfield. He's got a first down and a gain of about 17. On Tweedsmuir's best play of the game so far, Dorsey to Jones.
Really nice job by both Dorsey to keep the play alive, and Jones. Receivers are always taught in scramble drills. If you're one of the deep men, come back towards the quarterback, get visible, get in his vision. He just works right back down the sidelines. Aforementioned G. Simon was a king of that. When I scrambled, I'd see him working his way back down towards the sidelines and hit him very similar to that look right there from Tweedsmuir on that last play.
What a luxury it must have been for you, Travis, to have the best receiver all time in the Canadian Football League to throw the football to.
Yeah, he was okay.
Dorsey, look out from behind. Down he goes again. The 3rd sack of the game so far. And this one, soon again getting home.
Yeah, just a relentless effort. We saw the scramble. Dorsey able to keep the play alive on the last play this time. When that pursuit is coming, it's just hard to stay open all game long like that. And Van College wasn't having it on back-to-back plays.
And the thing is, with Dorsey, normally against your average run-of-the-mill team, he's able to dance around and then make a play and get away with his legs and his athletic ability. But against this Vancouver College team, they got too many playmakers to be kind of dancing around the backfield. You need to take that snap, make a quick decision, get rid of the football.
Well, again, those types of plays are off script, and when they happen, it's a bonus. You can't live and die on that, or if you do live and die by that, you will eventually die by that. So, yeah, that was just again relentless pursuit. Got to tip your hat to Van College of making hay in the backfield and finding a way to get to the quarterback on that last snap.
Well, timeout, Lord Tweedsmuir here as they stare at a 2nd down and 20. As the ball lays on just inside the 40-yard line to the 41. And they got to get down to the Vancouver College 40 for a first down. And Howard Samura writing on varsityletters.ca that it's hard to tell in the history of high school football if this should they go on to win this game. And it looks, let's not kid ourselves, Travis, that they are the superior team here. Could they be the greatest high school football team BC has ever seen? And it's up for debate, and I think they're in the conversation nonetheless.
I love these debates because there's no finite answer, but lots of opinions. It makes for some good conversation, but certainly
and Howard has seen it all through his 42 years.
Yeah, there's some credibility to that claim.
Covering the high school game here in BC. Here's Jones looking to throw downfield. Ooh. And it's knocked down on a good defensive play from Tioli, who got a hand out to smack that one to the turf.
Yeah, not the first time we've called his name tonight, but just, like you say, a really athletic play to looked like they were looking down the field here, and Terrell Jones just couldn't see anybody open downfield, tries to take the intermediate and just get some few chunk yardage.
But I don't mind the play call there from Ken Thornton,
I like
because I think that's the type of play that is you're going to have to be successful on to try and beat this team. You're not going to do it with just straight up lining up one-on-one against these guys. You're going to have to trick them a little bit and come up with some big hitters. Here's Dorsey on a drop, setting up a screen. Bouncing off of one tackle. And ball, I think, came loose here, Travis. And it'll be marked down. I think Tweedsmuir got back down on top of it, but it'll be 4th down and long here, and the punt team coming out.
Yeah, as we watch a replay here, really it was a play that had a decent chance. It looked like Anderson there kind of bumped into one of his offensive linemen, slowed his momentum, and again, that Van College pursuit is just impressive, the way they swarmed to the football. If you don't catch it and get upfield right now, it's going to be tough.
Kick. Well, sail out of bounds by Jones. Let's see where they spot it. Sideline judge walking past the 30.
Still walking.
Yeah, he'll stop at the 35. Kind of looked like that Price is Right game back in the day where the guy's going up the mountain. You don't know when he's going to stop. You know what I'm saying? You've seen it.
You know, it's not an exact science. Spotting a ball that goes out of bounds about 10 feet in the air.
Yeah.
So the 35 it is.
Bit of a shank there from Jones, and 35-yard line is where this drive will start here for the Irish. As Johnson in the backfield, Nyvlt will go up under center. And he'll take the snap. He'll look to throw, and a quick out. Completion? No, it falls through the hands and incomplete.
A nice defense right there by Jackson Stebbings. This is good timing on this just hitch. Quick 3-step, 1, 2, 3, balls out, thrown on time. Well, it looks like a pretty accurate pass, but as mentioned, Stebbings is there right as the ball arrives to break that thing up and make it 2nd and long.
2nd and 10. So they change up the formation here. They bring in 3 receivers now. Tweedsmuir showing pressure. Now they back off. It's Johnson up the middle. He's got 6. Give him 8, in fact, as he falls ahead to the 43. And it'll be 3rd down and 2 here on Van College. Yep. Shinkaro will check in. Johnson will check out.
A little bit of daylight finally for Deshaun Johnson when really hits it with a nice head of steam downhill. Set up a 3rd and short here. You got to tip your hat to the Van College O-line opening up that hole.
Shinkaro, the deep back. He'll take the handoff from Nyvlt. He'll get the 1st down. He'll keep the legs moving as he works towards the sideline. As they'll say, wind the clock here and move the chains for Vancouver College. You pick up another 1st down, and courtesy of Shinkaro.
Shinkaro with a really nice jump cut just after the ball was in his hands. With a little penetration from that Tweedsmuir D-line, but quick jump cut. Everybody else is in their lanes. There you go. You see that jump cut inside. Finds his blockers again. Gets upfield for the 1st down.
Ball in the 42 as you see it right there. Nice work from our camera crew. Nyvlt under center once again. He'll play action, roll out, set up a screen.
Oh.
Completion made now. And good defense here from Tweedsmuir to stuff that one quickly. As Nathan Gurnon making the play defensively.
Yeah, just really nice disciplined play there. Good recognition. Had me fooled a little bit. My eyes were out to the wide side thinking it was a play action. Van College has already run a couple of play action bootleg passes, and it looked like they were going to run a flood concept out to the field, but flipped it back for the screen. Good idea, but just sniffed out by that Tweedsmuir defense.
We'll call it 2nd and 15 now. There's again another formation look here from Coach Burnett. Nyvlt will hand off this time. Back to the line of scrimmage, and a couple of more tacked on as a late tackle comes in on Johnson, who hands the ball back to the referee. It'll be 3rd down and 8 here. And a real time in this game now, Travis, where Tweedsmuir needs a stop on defense.
Yeah, again, they're still looking to find a bit more traction, to get a little momentum working in their favor. Obviously sniffing out a play on 1st down, setting up a 2nd and long, gives them an opportunity, but 3rd and 8, critical down here in this early going.
From the left hash mark, We'll send Soriano in motion across the formation. He'll hand off to Johnson, picking his way through the Tweedsmuir defense, and he'll go down well short of the mark to gain. And now first decision here for Coach Burnett right near the midfield stripe.
What do you think, Jake?
Punt team coming on.
Yeah, looks
it
like
doesn't matter what I think. It's what Coach Burnett thinks.
Yeah, you said it.
I mean, if I would have had to venture a guess, I would have thought he might go for it here and try and step on the jugular a little bit with a 22-0 lead. But that's why I'm up here in the booth. He's down on the sideline as he brings out the punt team.
Well, it just speaks to the belief he has in his defensive unit, who's obviously playing at a really high clip here in the early going. You're playing a field position game. You already have a 3-score lead. If you can pin them deep, here you go. Back inside the 20-yard line. Looks like it'll be around the 14-yard line. You got a defense that's playing great. Probably good call by Van College.
The Fighting Irish lead 22-0 with 5 minutes here to go in this second quarter. And Vancouver College has given up 3 touchdowns since September.
That's ridiculous.
And I don't think that can be understated, what they have done defensively here against their opponents. And I think they got 6 or 7 shutouts to go along with that defensive juggernaut that they are. Direct snap. And maybe a couple. As Dorsey will be helped up. I just don't know how you find room on the interior to run against this front four of Van College.
Yeah, and they're playing pretty rested too, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, they've been able to take out their starters in most games, right? Because it's gone into running time, and they've had these big leads,
yep.
and they've been able to kind of spot their guys in and out and rest them and make sure they're healthy coming into this championship game.
And as we mentioned, they have a big enough roster to be able to do that, but the guys look fresh. They got a little bounce in their step, and they're playing like it.
Here's Dorsey to throw, steps up in the pocket now. He's got room, and he'll just throw this one away. And I think a flag. I think that's well, I don't know what they're going to call here, Travis. Say that. I look like Dorsey should have just tucked that one down and tried to run as far as he could, and he just
was he past the line of scrimmage there?
I think that's exactly why that flag came in. Good call. And just looking a little flustered, and both Jones and Dorsey still another year of college, or excuse me, of high school football to play. Two players both still in grade 11. So 5-yard penalty and a loss of down here for throwing the ball past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, just
not throwing the ball past the line of scrimmage, but throwing the ball once the runner was past the line of scrimmage, I should clarify.
Right.
So 3rd down and 13 to go now. As Dorsey, here comes pressure, fires over the middle. It's picked off, and Keyshawn Johnson going to walk it on a pick 6 for the Irish. Keyshawn Johnson.
There was clearly some kind of confusion. Looked like Dorsey was trying to make a throw there on time. Receivers did not appear to be looking. Zone coverage by this Van College defense mean their eyes are in the backfield, and Keyshawn Johnson's just standing there waiting.
Oh, man, that's not going to get easier for a pick 6 right there. And I think if you would have guessed which Johnson brother would have scored a touchdown first in this game, I would have picked number 2, not number 1. But a pick 6 defensive touchdown here from Keyshawn Johnson makes it 28-0 Van College with an extra point attempt from Kolb right now. And up and through it goes. 29-0 here with 3:58 to go in this half. And man, I think everybody was probably hoping for a bit of a tighter game, Travis, including yours truly and yourself. But what can you say? Sometimes you just have to marvel at dominance, and that's what Vancouver College is doing right now. And that's not taking anything away from Lord Tweedsmuir, who are a very good football team and deserve to be in this championship game. And the road that they took to get here, rightly so. But the way this thing's going right now, this Vancouver College team is just head and shoulders above the rest of the province here.
Yeah, and that's what this first half has looked like to this point. And to your point, Tweedsmuir's done a lot to get here and had a tremendous story and journey and to get to a championship game. And look, there's a lot of football left, right? Crazier things have happened,
yes.
and I know that's if I'm a coach on the Tweedsmuir side or if I'm somebody over there, that's the seed that I'm continuing to plant on that sideline, and there's no doubt those kids are going to continue to play hard, but the story so far has just been Van College making plays in all phases of this football game. Jumped out to a 29-0 lead here before the half.
Return on here for States Jones as he'll try and find the far side of the – and defensively, offensively, special teams, they're firing on all cylinders right now and making plays all over the field.
That's just discipline on special teams. You got an athlete trying to win to the edge, thinks he's got a little bit of daylight, but you're coached. If you're contained, you can't get beat outside, and Van College is able to rally laterally and minimize that return. You get a tackle on the 20-yard line or behind, you're feeling pretty good about what you did on special teams.
Well, 3:51 here to go in this opening half. And the Panther offense back out onto the field trying to make something happen here before halftime. And that's the problem. When you get yourself down in a game like this and you're down 20, the thought process is, let's get it back. Let's look for something. And that's almost the exact opposite thing you want to do. Instead of just try and chip away at this thing, you start looking for home run balls, and it ends up going back the other way on you sometimes.
Yeah, and that's one of the challenges in trying to come from behind is balancing. Look, there's not a ton of time left in this game.
Staying patient, yeah.
So we have to make plays, but you have to be patient enough to know that you're going to win it in all phases of the game. If you're going to come from behind, you're going to need a stop, and you're going to need a big play on special teams, so you can't get it back in one play on offense. And so from a quarterback mindset point of view and a play caller's point of view, you have to stay true to what you're good at, but knowing that if and when you get those chances, you got to find a way to make those plays.
An injured lineman down here for the Fighting Irish. I believe it's Tuma. Let's watch it here. 58 in the center of your screen, I believe. As he comes back into the play there. And I think he might have just turned an ankle there as he got stepped on. And looks to be in some sort of discomfort down there as he's still being worked on around the 27-yard line. Gives me an opportunity to thank everybody once again for, Sports Canada TV for being the broadcast partner here for the BC High School Football Game of the Week. To Brian Gimmel, the president of BC Football, Jamie Rennie, who runs the operations side of things here at BC Place, Heather Foster, who's been the tournament chair and made these playoffs at BC Place run without a hitch here in 2019, as the road to the Subway Bowl just keeps getting better and better as the years go along here, Travis, and just another fabulous few weeks at BC Place leading up to this championship game, and so many people, volunteers alike, involved in making this what it is, in a place that high school and football fans alike want to come to year after year and week after week to watch the best high school football in the province.
Yeah, and we talked about this a little bit in the AA championship game, but it's so much more than these kids. Obviously, these kids deserve a ton of credit for all the work that has gone into these football season, but there are so many people behind the scenes. First and foremost, their parents, the coaches, all the volunteers and people that make this entire production go. It really is a special time for these young men. They'll remember these moments and these opportunities to play in this setting, this beautiful building. This is one of the finest stadiums in all of North America. It absolutely is. And so for these kids to have an opportunity to play here in big moments in their young high school careers is pretty special. And as we said, a lot of credit goes beyond just the kids on the field.
Absolutely, and more credit goes out to our fabulous sponsors here who have helped put on these broadcasts in the playoffs here at BC Place. Our title sponsor, of course, Subway Canada. And what a fantastic partner they have been over the years. And, of course, the Subway Bowl, the championship game, all courtesy of Subway. As a pitch play here to States Jones, who will switch the football to protect it and gets banged out of bounds after a few. Baden Football's MVP Athletic, Pro Team Equipment, Riddell, Baron Rings, Indigo, and Kahunaverse. Your Canada source for football, Kahunaverse. And what can you say about our great sponsors here, especially Subway, who continue to support high school football in BC? Just fabulous.
Yeah, just just tacking on beyond what we just mentioned in the parents and support staff, but these sponsors is hugely important for helping this be the event that it is, and making these things all come together. That those sponsorship dollars are not wasted. This is a very significant time for these guys.
Deep throw, and Johnson's got another pick as a flag comes in. Speaking of making things, they make a pretty mean salad as well, Travis. I had one on the way in today. A little double steak meat salad. Absolutely fabulous. Subway. Love it. Can't get enough, actually. We'll have to check the laundry here. There's a couple of flags down on the field. Let's watch the replay here. A little contact out on the edge there between Johnson and, who was it, Stebbings? That was the intended receiver. And not
Jackson Stebbings. Yeah, this ball was just thrown a little bit short and inside, and Johnson, Keyshawn Johnson, really in good position there, went up and made the play. We'll have to get a look at what the call is here.
Looked like the offense for Tweedsmuir staying on the field and the defense for Van College staying on the field. So I think this one's going to go against Johnson, as we'll get the call here.
Before the interception, we have holding Vancouver College. That's a 10-yard penalty and will result in a first down for Tweedsmuir.
There you go. Can't explain it much better than that.
Yeah, pretty cut and dry. Yeah, no, looked clean at the top of the route. Keyshawn Johnson going up and making a play. What would have been his second pick, but somewhere along the way we had a defensive holding, which is a different call, 10-yard penalty, but we'll set up a first down for Lord Tweedsmuir.
And it came before the pass. I think that's the key there. That's why it's not pass interference. Defensive holding is the call. And they'll line it up on first down here. Well out to the 38-yard line, in between the hash marks here for the Panthers, trying to get on the board offensively, trailing 29-0 with 3 minutes to go. Dorsey on a handoff to States Jones, and he's wrapped up immediately once again. And they keep pounding it up the middle there, Travis, and there's just not a lot of room.
No, that's big boy Simon Smith. We've seen him in the backfield a couple times tonight, but
and a punishing hit, too. Stace Jones down after this collision. Right there, just got folded.
Yeah, I looked for, he was reaching to his lower body. I don't know if it was a knee or an ankle. He's trying to hobble off the field.
Football, physical, violent contact sport, and injuries will happen. An unfortunate one there for Stace Jones, who just got rolled up and went down awkwardly and clearly in some discomfort.
Yeah, hopefully he's all right there. That's unfortunate part of the game. Injuries, you just hope that it's not too serious, and like to see him be able to finish this game with his teammates here in the championship.
Well, the clock starts to tick again as we approach 2 minutes to go. Here's a pitch. Stebbings. And forget it. He's going to lose 5. Well, I mean, they tried it in the inside, then they tried it in the outside, and not there either.
Just swarming. Again, it's the pursuit that really jumps out to me. It's not just one guy there. There's a guy there at the point of attack, but the minute it gets a little bit bottled up, everybody else is coming in to clean it up. And that's really the hallmark of a good defense is team defense, everybody playing obviously sound gap football, but fly into the football and taking a lot of pride in getting to the ball.
Yeah. Third down and long here for Dorsey. And again, hangs on to the football too long and goes down.
Yeah, again, I mean,
just
sound like a broken record, but this Van College defensive line is in the backfield.
Right there, he's got to get rid of that football.
Yeah, this is 2-3 hitches. You got to tip your hat to the back end. The secondary there, not giving him a clean look on where to throw the football. And when you do that with the relentless pass rush, somebody's going to find their way home eventually, and that's exactly what happened on that drop-back pass.
And you got to give the coaching staff here at Vancouver College some credit as well. Maybe this is the game plan, knowing that Dorsey likes to scramble around and is a young quarterback in grade 11, hasn't seen a whole lot of different looks on that front four, and maybe they're just bringing different linebackers on blitzes and stuff that offensive line hasn't seen before and confusing that young quarterback a little bit. And that goes back to coaching and game planning and play calling.
Oh, you're right. And, sometimes people think that it's only the defensive line that are getting to the quarterback or only blaming an offensive line when a sack happens. But so often
stunts.
The coaching and the strategy of the back end. I mean, if you want to get sacks on a quarterback, make them hold the football, vary the looks on the back end of a defense more than anything, more than just blitzing and trying to get guys to the quarterback. Make him hold the ball longer so you have an extra beat for your guys to get home.
Kick team on again here for the Panthers. This one will roll up the field and stop around the 48-yard line. And 1:13 here to go to halftime, Travis. And I hate to say it, but still time here for more points for Vancouver College before halftime.
And you saw it after that sack, Van College with the timeout, thinking that they got a chance to extend this lead further before the half. And listen, this is championship football. Before halftime, you're trying to put as many points on the board as you can right now.
They are not going to take their foot off the pedal here in the Subway Bowl. I can guarantee you that. 1:12 to go. Ball on the 50-yard line here. As they go with 3 receivers at tight end, 1 in the backfield. Soriano to this near wide side as Nyvlt will go back into the pistol here. He'll take a 1-step drop, throws, complete. And a 9-yard gain and a hard hit at the end of that play on Josh Lumtong, who made the catch. And hurry up offense here for the Irish as Burnett barking the play call out. No huddle here for Nyvlt. And Van College. He'll stay in that pistol formation. Johnson the deep back. He'll step up in protection. Nyvlt stands in the pocket, delivers the football. Soriano!
Oh, what a catch.
He's got another! 4 for 14. The MVP.
Just a beautiful job of tracking this football. Again, Soriano with an inside release on this go route. And again, as a quarterback, we're always taught to throw the ball high and away. So when that guy slips inside, sometimes it's a tough landing point. But to see Soriano be able to adjust, he got beyond the secondary, so he had enough space to adjust back outside. But this is not bad coverage. The
ball's just fantastic catch.
The ball just snuck over the top of number 11, Jackson Stebbings, there in coverage. But the ability to track that football. The other 2 we saw were contested.
Yes.
This was contested in a different way, maybe a guy flashing his face. But the body control and the ability to feel where that football is going to come down, I mean, that's next level. That's impressive.
That was like Willie Mays-esque.
Straight over the top.
I mean, that is real impressive. And, yeah, you should be fired up, Jason Soriano. You got your team up 36-0. And he's got 4 touchdowns here offensively, and the other one coming on a pick 6.
Listen, I've been fortunate to take in 4 or 5 of these provincial championship weekends and Subway Bowls, and I don't know how far back this dates, but you got to be talking about all-time performances. 4 first-half touchdowns by that young man. Soriano is one for the record books, no doubt about it.
I don't know what his grades are like, Travis, but maybe you just might get him to, flunk math class or something, see if he can stick around for grade 13.
I think people are going to know who that young man is if he comes back.
Oh, my goodness. What a Subway Bowl Jason Soriano is having right now. 36-0 Irish with 39 seconds to go as they'll kick it deep. And here comes the return up the middle. Past the 25. And I don't know what you do here if you're Lord Tweedsmuir. You're down 36-0, but you got 33 seconds to go in the half. Do you want to try and force something here? I don't know if you do. I think maybe you get to the locker room and start licking your wounds a little bit here and maybe try and rejig the game plan.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in general in these situations, I'm a fan of running the ball. If you pop one, if you get a 20 or 30-yard play, maybe you get aggressive. But if you get stuffed at the line of scrimmage, maybe you let that thing tick.
Well, they'll break the huddle, and let's see how they line up here. 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line, and Dorsey will stand in the shotgun with 4 receivers in as they're going to go for broke here. Why not? They'll hand it off to Anderson, who will slice up the middle for about 11. It'll keep the clock moving, and I think the Panthers called 2 timeouts in that opening half as well. They might have 1 left. But the clock is running here, and I think everybody just looking for the locker room here and get to half.
Well, sometimes that's what you need. Take a deep breath and look. this is going to be
Get some pickle juice, Travis.
some pickled juice, a banana or two, and take a deep breath. You got a whole half left of football to play.
Final play of the opening half. It's Anderson one more time. He'll pick up 3, and the clock will hit 000 here at BC Place. 24 minutes in the books, 24 to go here in the 2019 Subway Bowl on Sports Canada TV. All Fighting Irish in that opening half. They hold a 36-0 lead over Tweedsmuir with a half of football to go. We'll be back with it in 12 minutes' time from now. In the meantime, send us a tweet at Travis Lulay, at PXP for Sports, and we'll talk to you for second half action here from BC Place. Just put that song on repeat, Travis Lulay. Welcome back inside BC Place. Jake Elliott, Travis Lulay with you as we get set for the second half of the 2019 Subway Bowl here on Sports Canada TV. Thanks for joining us. All Vancouver College in that opening 24 minutes. They have a 36-0 lead here over the Panthers of Lord Tweedsmuir. And the Lunatics, the rowers down there, Travis, have still not put any clothes on, and they're still standing.
What's the over-under on the time left in the game when they sit?
0. They're not going to do it, I'm telling you.
I love it.
They're going to stand there. Look out.
We
Trick
got a
play
little
off
something.
the return here. And again, just such a disciplined team. They're right there to make the play on States Jones.
Yeah, but you know what? I like it.
Absolutely.
I like it, Tweedsmuir. Try something, do something, anything to inject a little bit of life. Why not? What do you got to lose at this point? You're down 36-0. If you got to inject it somehow, some way, go for it.
1st and 10. They'll start this drive from the 25-yard line. Well, there you go. I'm looking down on the Benefield's put a shirt on, Travis. He's not going short sleeves anymore, so you got something to go after him on now. Couldn't handle the full game in short sleeves.
What a softie.
Dorsey still in there at quarterback. Will throw on first down. He's got a completion to Jones out on the edge. And good gain on
ball's out.
And my goodness, I was just about to say one of the best plays of the game there for the Tweedsmuir offense.
Is he down? No, he's not down.
And guess who's in the mix once again? 14 and Jason Soriano, along with a plethora of purple jerseys.
Let's see if we can get an eye on who made the hit here.
Finley coming in.
4 guys.
There it is.
Well, that's what we talked about in the first half. Once one guy gets there and wraps him up, everybody continues to pursue. Somebody's poking at the ball. That ball comes free. And if you're Tweedsmuir, not what you wanted. If you're Van College, great field position to set up after a dominant first half.
We got a flank here before this next snap. Illegal substitution is the call.
Going to be 1st and 5.
And from the 30-yard line here, Johnson, the deep man, trip receivers to the high wide side. Nyvlt, wide receiver screen, complete. And a big gain of about 20. As Ben Culp, the kicker, making a catch and run.
Yeah, I could see with the trip set, they had numbers from the get-go, and I don't know whether this was purely designed or whether this was an advantage throw. Oftentimes in football or in the pros, we'd line up, and if we had an advantage to numbers, whether there was a blitzer or just by defensive alignment, you could go ahead and throw that bubble screen any time. That time, sure enough, you make blocks, you have numbers, sets up a big play on first down.
From the 15. And it's Johnson, and he's wrapped up in the backfield. Nice play by big number 70.
It's Kyle Dodd.
And he's been a stalwart, standout defensive lineman. And
wow,
Dodd, he's got an unbelievable swim move off the snap. And
that was it.
He was wreaking havoc against the Notre Dame offensive line in that semifinal. Like was into the backfield a number of times with that exact same move. He's just so quick off the snap of the football, and then that swim move to go along with it is impressive.
It's one of the most important traits of a D lineman is their get off, how quickly they get off the football. And Dodd was in the backfield as soon as that ball was snapped on that last play.
And he's doing that as an offensive lineman. A nose tackle. There's another run.
Nice pursuit there again by Tweedsmuir. A couple of really nice run stop downs here on first and second.
And they've done a real nice job of containing Johnson for the most part. He's had a couple of nice runs, but he's used to breaking big ones off, and he just hasn't really gotten loose so far. And still, the Irish are up 36-0.
Yeah. Well, as we spoke on earlier, it's pick your poison, and Tweedsmuir's done a pretty good job controlling Johnson, but Soriano's been the guy reaping the benefit of that all that attention that Johnson's been getting.
4 offensive touchdowns for
There's
Soriano.
That trip set again.
Here's
Bubble
Cole.
screen.
Looking for that far stick, and be brought down in bounds. It'll be 4th down here.
Really nice job there by States Jones coming out of that high safety position, flying downhill, just taking a great angle to the football and just good speed to track it down.
Excellent.
Otherwise, pretty well blocked. Would have had a chance of getting a first down there.
That's a great tackle there from States Jones. Says it's 4th and 4 here for Van College. And they're going to go for it on 4th down. I want to get back to Coach Burnett here, Travis. And I think part of what has made them so not only their schemes defensively and getting pressure on Dorsey and getting back and getting sacks and all the rest, but I think the way that they have continually changed their look on offense and the formations that they are lined up, they have just kept the Panthers off balance all game long, not really knowing if it's run, if it's pass, if it's inside, if it's zone. They've done a great job of mixing their formations and play calling up and keeping that Panther defense guessing.
Again, they've got enough athletes on all sides of are on offense to be able to do that, but
big stop on defense
right there. Big stop on 4th down. Look, just be half a yard short. They got a good push, but a good job by that Tweedsmuir defense to wrap and tackle before they could get to the first down marker.
So a turnover on downs, but 95 yards to go. For Lord Tweedsmuir as they take the ball back over after getting a stop on 4th down. Dorsey stands in the shotgun in his own 1-yard line. Claps the hands, take the snap, hand it off to Anderson, who will get across the 5 and then get popped backwards. On a hard hit there. Simon Smith once again, and we've called his number a few times. Just look at the big fella wrap up. It's a lot of beef on the inside there. I mean, I don't.
That's a big man.
Man after my own heart there.
He looks like what a defensive lineman ought to
Really?
look like.
I mean, he looks like he could step into university football right now.
Yep, certainly the body type for it.
And there is another tackle for 73. 54 in on the play as well. And Matt Hogue, who's had a heck of a year for Van College, upwards of 80 tackles, 84 to be exact. And again, I mentioned it off the top, Travis, and just playmakers all over the field, both defensively and offensively here for Van College. And we've talked about it because we're calling out all these different names and numbers on almost every play. It's somebody new.
Yep. And again, we said it, we'll say it again, but it just speaks to team defense, comprehensive defense. Everybody's got a role to play, and you play discipline, and the plays will come to you.
There's a throw on the run, and it's an interception, and guess who? And look out.
Uh-oh.
Soriano wants 5. Can he get the corner? He can. Touchdown, Van College. Jason Soriano with his 5th touchdown of the Subway Bowl.
I mean, what do you say about that, Jake? Oh, what a play. Nice scramble. Just happened to look like it was a little bit behind the receiver. Soriano with his eyes in the backfield makes a catch. But the catch wasn't even the most impressive part. It was everything he did afterwards. It takes a confident player to reverse the entire field like this and end up scoring on the far side. But just vision, toughness, tenacity, all that.
Oh, man, he just broke number 10's ankles there on a cut, as well as Stomperud is the player that's down, just got frozen. And there you see it. He's not waving. That's how many touchdowns the young man has in this game.
You think? Was that just coincidence?
No, when he scored his 4th, he put up 4, and he just got his 5th, and he put up all 5. 4 offensively, 1 defensively on a pick 6 now, and if you didn't know why number 14 was the MVP, surely you do now. There you go. Yes, count him up.
Okay, he's letting us know. Well done, young man. Take a bow. That's
I want to eat.
Heck of a day so far, and we're halfway through the third quarter.
This may go down as one of the greatest performances in a Subway Bowl ever right here from Jason Soriano.
Yeah, from both a team perspective, we got a 42-0 football game right now, but an individual performance.
It's just mind-boggling.
5 touchdowns.
And then think about the distance. That these aren't like 5-yard crossing routes from inside the 10-yard. These are like 40, 50-yard bombs he's bringing in and taking to the house.
Yeah.
And then comes up with a pick 6 as well.
That'll go down as a 25-yard return, 20-yard return. But he ran all of 75, 80 yards as he was crossing, weaving his way back and forth across the field, scoring at the far pylon there. But, yeah, we now 3 receiving touchdowns, 1 long rushing touchdown, and 1 interception return for a touchdown. That's have a day, young fella.
My goodness. I mean, you're witnessing greatness right now from Jason Soriano and this Vancouver College. And not only are they not giving up points, Travis, but now they got 14 to the good, or 12, I suppose, on 2 defensive picks. So not only are they not allowing points, but they're scoring points as well, and that's just double damage and just rubbing it in.
Yeah, what do you say? All-around effort so far from this Van College team.
Absolutely insane. Deep kick once again, all the way to the goal line, and yeah, take a knee. Heads up there. And Tweedsmuir on their heels, 43-0. And I think we've moved into running time here, Travis. The clock is ticking.
The clock is ticking. What's the ruling here? Where are we placing the football?
Well, I didn't. I thought the referee might just say, you know what, it's 43-0. I'll give you the touchback. But I think he played that ball outside the goal line, then backed up inside the goal line. And his foot was actually on the goal line when he took the knee. So I don't know exactly why they're placing this thing down on the 3. Maybe forward progress. Watch it again here. So he plays this ball at the 2, and his foot is on the line as he takes a knee. I think that's a safety, is it not?
That would be my understanding. That's why I asked you, partner.
Yeah.
What is the ruling with the placing the ball on the 3-yard line here?
By the way, I want to correct myself and get in a special shout-out here while we're at it. A week ago, I made mention of a short punt and the punter not getting downfield and maybe going after his own kick like you can in the CFL. Of course, here in American rules football or high school football here in BC, that is not an option for the punter. I was ever so rightly corrected by my good friend George Sorelli, who is in hospital right now, battling, going through a bit of a tough time. I know he is tuned in here to the broadcast tonight, watching the Subway Bowl, wishing he was here. We're all thinking about you here at BC Place, George. We hope you're on the road to recovery, and I appreciate you getting after me an email last week and setting me straight, teaching me the rules, something I should have known, but I wanted to correct myself because I got after the punter a little bit for not hustling, and rightly so. He wasn't, because it's
an illegal touch if you were to go down
all
there.
Right.
That's right.
Nothing worse than illegal touching. So they'll spot this ball down here at the 2-yard line for Dorsey and company. As here we go. Dorsey from his own end zone. Look out, and down he goes. And if it wasn't a safety before, it is now. As what's that, Travis? The 4th, 5th sack here for the Irish defense.
Yep. They're certainly racking them up. Dennis Stasinopoulos on that.
Well
sack.
done. I was going to. I'm glad you took
You
that one,
let me
partner.
handle it. Talked to my good friend Brian Chu before the game
Okay.
here and got a few pronunciations down pat. So I was just waiting to call Dennis Stasinopoulos' name.
Love it.
Gave me good reason there in the end zone with the big sack. Celebration is already underway here. This Van College student section. Give me the name of these fellas in the top.
Rowers.
The rowers.
I think because they go on the front row all the time, so they're front row, the rowers.
Wow, this is
I called them the lunatics a week ago. I don't think that name was
rowers,
good.
lunatics. They're standing, they're cheering.
And they're
You can't
topless.
tell just from their energy. It's the same as it was when it was 0-0.
Really?
But everywhere else, you can feel that clearly the momentum has
There
been
they
in
go.
their favor for a while. There they are,
Wave
the
to
rowers.
And look at the crowd here at BC Place, Travis, for this Subway Bowl championship game.
That's awesome.
Absolutely fantastic. And for all, I mean, they're probably here to see you as well, Travis. Don't kid yourself. I know you've been signing autographs left and right since you arrived here at BC Place.
I can't, like Jake, you're my bodyguard. You've been keeping them off of me.
We're trying to get a shout out up here in the cameras as well. As a fair catch called for, and I'm not sure why, as there was nobody within 10 yards
Big man.
of that young man. And
Big man's been coached that way.
Colin McKellar, yes, put your arm up in the air and wave for the fair catch. And hey, if nothing else, he can say, I got to touch the football in the Subway Bowl back in 2019 at BC Place on my way to a championship.
Sure did.
Well, clock continues to tick down here in the third quarter as it's 45-0 Irish. And I know, and myself included, we're all hoping for a closer game here. And we talked about this at halftime, Travis, that, everybody wants to see a tight game. And we think back to that epic finish in 2017 on the final play of the game and all the rest of it. But sometimes I think you just have to admire greatness and sit back and enjoy watching greatness. And I really think that is exactly what we're watching here today. It's like looking in a mirror right there, Charles. Look at that. I really think that we're watching greatness today, not only as a complete organization here for the Vancouver College Fighting Irish, but then you look at the performance that Jason Soriano, the MVP of BC High School football, and what he is doing here today. And this could very well go down as the greatest performance in a Subway Bowl ever. I don't have the numbers, but I can't think. I mean, he must have close to 300 yards receiving and 5 touchdowns, 4 offensive, 1 defensive. You tell me. I'll have to ask Howard Samura, but I cannot think of a better performance in a championship game than what Jason Soriano is doing here, and still another quarter to play.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much PT the starters are going to get here in this fourth quarter. Probably not much, and rightly so.
We've had some substitutions already, as you see the young man Christian McMahon getting a completion here. But no, to your point, you're right. I mean, it is one thing as a fan, as a viewer, as someone like us calling a game. It's very exciting when the score is really close, but it is awesome to watch a team that's just so cohesive as this Van College team is. Just you could see it from the support to the way they play on all phases of this football team. The culture, as you mentioned, the way these guys play hard, the number of good men on their coaching staff. I mean, it just all those things are coming together at the right time and showing up on the biggest stage. And the MVP in British Columbia is, putting an exclamation point behind an incredible season on an impressive team. It is fun to be able to witness this.
Minute to go here, third quarter, and some reserves into the football game now. And maybe this levels out the playing field here a little bit. But the other thing it's going to do for this Fighting Irish program, Travis, is get some serious reps, some serious experience for these players that are going to be around this program for years to come. And it's only going to serve them well heading into next year, knowing that, hey, we got some time in the Subway Bowl here. We know what it's like to play in that game at that field at this level. And that's how the program is going to keep progressing.
Yeah, and that's how it goes. And you live for these moments when you're a young guy. You know, I remember, you know, being thrown up on the varsity team as a freshman, as a grade 9, back in my high school playing days, and you know, just getting in at the end of a game, late in a game like this, and having an opportunity to throw a handful of passes and be in the huddle out on a varsity field. I know that makes you a better player the next year and years down the road. And so there's no such thing as quote unquote garbage time. I've always hated that term. It's time that's super meaningful for anybody. Anytime you get an opportunity to be on that field, man, it's special. And you know, these kids are looking to make the most of it regardless of the score. And by that same token, I would encourage the Tweedsmuir kids the same way. If I was down on that sideline, say, look, guys, look, you're here. The score isn't what you hoped it would be at this point of the game, but
play hard.
Golly, play hard, enjoy the moment, have fun while you're out there. So I really hope those kids are doing that. I think, you know, we haven't seen anybody quitting, hanging heads and all that stuff yet. They're continuing to play hard, and hope to see more of that as this fourth quarter goes on. Yeah.
As much as you despise the term garbage time, for me, the term that I hate is meaningless game.
Yeah.
You know, to me, there is no such thing as a meaningless game. I don't care if you're out of the playoffs or the season's last game of the year, first game of the year, whatever, exhibition. There's no such thing as a meaningless game because it means everything to those players down on the field, and they deserve that respect.
100%. Couldn't agree with you more. And boy, if you're the quarterback in a quote unquote meaningless game, nobody tells the defensive lineman that they're not still coming for you, right? So
absolutely,
you got to make reads, get the ball out of your hands, do all the stuff you're doing regardless of how much time is left on the clock or what the score is.
Well, it's party time now for Vancouver College and their fans alike. 12 minutes to go here from BC Place in the 2019 BC high school football season. As Anderson will pick his way for a couple. And I believe the clock will continue to move here in this fourth quarter with the scoreline not in doubt. Well, it's been another fun weekend here with you, Travis. I know that the football career as playing-wise is over. What's on the horizon for Travis Luley as we head into 2020?
Yeah, well, I tell you what, it's funny. People say, well, what are you doing?
I know you're coaching some basketball down there in Blaine.
Yeah. Yes, I am. Thank you for asking. Games start next weekend in Blaine Youth Sports. I'm helping coach my daughters are in kindergarten and first grade on a little basketball team down there. I tell you what, it's fun working with kids at that age, how quick the progression happens. Now, this isn't like poetry in motion watching kindergarten, first grade basketball, but the difference between the first practice to the third or fourth week of practice, and they're understanding the concept of the game and the flow of the game and a little bit of the skill work. And I tell you, my kindergarten daughter didn't want the ball in her hands because everybody looked at her and she knew she had to make a decision. And then a couple practices later, she catches the ball, dribbles up to the hoop and takes a shot, knocks one down. And we go, boy.
Not dunking yet, though.
Oh, they're not dunking yet, no. But it's just, I tell you what, it's been fun. I was showing the video to all my buddies at Grey Cup last week in Calgary, and I was totally that dad showing videos of my kids in kindergarten.
Why wouldn't you?
So it's begun. So yeah, so I'm doing that. Also, still working for the Lions, working on the business side and corporate development and corporate partnerships, doing a little broadcast stuff on the side.
Now, is that something? I know that you're obviously taken to the broadcast thing, and you're doing quite well at it. But the business side of things with the Lions, is that something that intrigues you? And
yeah, it is.
You want to dive into a little bit?
Yeah, look, I got my my university degree in finance, and I've always had a kind of an eye on the business side of things, and so. Yeah, the opportunity arose after I retired last spring. Rick Lalashur, BC Lions president, and then VP of Business George Chaika kind of reached out to me and said, okay, we'd like to kind of offer you this role if you're interested. And so I was kind of interim, knowing that's a big change in my life is to see a shot down the field here, got a man.
Chance for it. Oh, incomplete. As you really want to see the Panthers get on the board here.
And really, really close opportunity there. Jackson Stebbings almost made a great catch on the sidelines there in the end zone. But
came on fourth down, so turnover on downs here on Tweedsmuir.
Yeah, but so for me, back to as they approached me, I thought this would be a good thing for me to kind of dive into the business side of sport and get to know it a little bit more intimately and go to work with a lot of our partners. You talk about the sponsors making this thing go. Well, we're seeking out sponsorship on the pro level, obviously, still, and we, the BC Lions, we take such a pride, and you see our name up there as a sponsor here this weekend. We take a lot of pride in really being a community
community-run program and a
Absolutely.
provincial-wide thing, and we obviously donate a lot of time and money to amateur football. So for us, it's awesome to see the fruits of some of that labor in terms of the support.
Oh, man. Almost busting free there.
He was, one
shoestring tackle
last
away.
ditch tackle away from splitting the defense there. But it's been really good for me to get out in the community and see the number of partners. Even in a down year like this last year was for the Lions, how many people really do care about the BC Lions in our community and want to see us do well. And so, if I could have a little bit of a hand in making somebody go from, kind of a casual supporter to a financial and maybe more meaningful supporter of the Lions, that's a special thing for me. And, it goes beyond us just trying to win and lose football games. There's a lot of stuff that we do in terms of community programs, and we'll be hitting the pavement hard. I know it's the off season, but, we're reaching out to an average of 2 schools a day. We have our players out speaking on a number of different social issues throughout the
And that's really how it starts, Travis, right?
It's
about the players getting into the schools, introducing themselves, and getting the kids familiar and getting those kids to go home and talk to their parents and say, I want to go watch a BC Lions football game at BC Place.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just we just think it's just one of the pillars of our brand is that community involvement. So to be on the other side of it as a player, obviously I was involved in speaking for a number of years on those different issues as a player, and so now to be on the other side where we're finding community partners who share that same vision and want to be involved in that community element that we bring to the table in the off season, and obviously for the organization want to get back to winning ways again.
Well, I was just about to ask you, Travis, and I know we're in the off season here, but it's a bit of a tumultuous off season, I would say.
A little bit right now, yeah.
Ed Hervey's got some work ahead of him. Why don't you just go ahead, break the news right here on Sports Canada TV. Campbell, Moss coming to coach the BC Lions, I hear.
Yeah.
Is that happening?
Well, that's not going to be – whoa, what a catch right there by that young man. Big hit. Hangs on. No, bottom line, I wouldn't be breaking it even if I could yet, Jake. I don't think that's my thing. But, no, I've just heard some rumors, and there are some really qualified candidates out there, and some good coaches have become available.
I was trying to convince Farhan to throw his name in the ring. He won't do it.
Well, Farhan was
He likes being the big fish in Hayak land.
I tell you what, he was lamenting a tough loss to this Tweedsmuir team a few weeks back at Grey Cup last week. He was
did he have the earmuffs on?
Oh, he was shook up about it, as any competitor would be. Losing the playoffs is tough. I don't care what level you're at. It's tough. But, so I would expect to hear some more news on the Lions front here in the next week. There's been some rumors.
He doesn't want to wait too long before he makes that announcement.
Well,
you got to get that in place sooner than later and get things rolling.
It's important. It is important to get that first piece in place, and that's a critical piece, obviously, in your head coach, and the rest of the pieces fall in place from there. Obviously, Jason Moss recently let go in Edmonton, has great history with Mike Riley. Who knows if he has some availability? I'm sure at this stage of the game, Ed probably knows something, and Mike maybe has had talks with Jason to see where his head's at. But, Rick Campbell's another name that you mentioned has been floated around who's had some good success. So we'll see. I believe, those talks are happening. I haven't been privy to those closed-door conversations, but certainly some qualified people to bring our team back to where we need to be to, consistently competing at the playoff and championship level.
It was a dreadful start to the year, obviously, but I think some real promising signs coming down the stretch for that BC Lions team. As I just stole your pen there. I didn't realize we both have Jay Prepchuk quarterback camp pens here, Travis. I don't know if you ever went through the old Jay Prepchuk quarterback camp or not. He's had all sorts of players go through that. While we're on the subject here, I want to send out a special thanks to my pal Alex Kerrigan, Justin Morissette, Warren Andrews, Matt Macri, yourself, of course, Travis, and Jay Prepchuk especially, who has sat with me for a number of years in the game of the week and brings so much to the table with his history and his knowledge of high school football here in BC. And to you, for a guy that has got a high profile for football here in BC, to come and sit beside me and call these high school games the last couple of years have been a real treat to call that with you as well. And can't thank you enough for your time and everybody that has helped out on the high school game of the week here on Sports Canada TV and through the playoffs. A deflection right into the hands here. And Vancouver College down near the 5-yard line here looking for some more points. But a big thanks to everybody who's contributed to the broadcast Choyle, who owns Sports Canada TV, and the job that him and his crew have done here over the last few years, putting on these productions as well, just top-notch from everybody involved, and can't thank you enough.
Yeah, well, Jake, on my side, it's been my pleasure, and I love an opportunity to get back to, frankly, where I fell in love with football at the high school level for me, and having the opportunity to play in Oregon state championship games. I lost 2 championship games as both a junior and a senior. You don't forget. But it was an incredible run with a great group of friends, a lot of guys that I grew up with, and I know these kids on both sides can relate, and these parent groups and all the support that's come around them, as we mentioned before on the webcast here.
And a Grey Cup and an MOP probably take the sting away from losing those high school championships just a little bit. Right?
Thanks for bringing it up, Jake. Yes, those 2011 memories were certainly grand here in this building. We kind of christened this building, was new. If you recall, we moved back into a recently renovated BC Place in 2011, so it was fun to bring a championship here to the city. And I know from the Lions' perspective, we're certainly hoping to do that again. But I know, as I mentioned, it just is a treat and brings back a lot of joy for me to be able to call these provincial championship games. And
man, has this building ever changed. Like, I remember walking through the doors here and back in 1985 as just a youngster, Travis, and I think the Vancouver Whitecaps, is the Irish looking for one more touchdown here, gets stopped down near the goal line. But to watch the transformation of what has happened here since, Expo 86, way back when, and this building opened back in the mid-'80s, to what it looks like now and what it's become, just a fantastic and marvelous makeover. And like we said earlier, a world-class facility for these kids to come and play football in.
Yeah. Obviously, BC Place will always be near and dear to my heart. So I think it's a little bit extra meaningful to me to know what it means for these kids. And just hearing some of the interviews and hearing them, how excited they are and how cool of an opportunity they know this is.
Well, that looked like a pass interference, but goes uncalled. It'll bring up 4th down here for Van College, as we go under 2 minutes to play here in this 2019 Subway Bowl. And the Vancouver College Fighting Irish are going to be your champions here in 2019, and what will go down as a historic season and one to remember, including the Subway Bowl here, and one Jason Soriano. And I don't think there's any doubt who our MVP of the Subway Bowl.
Who jumps out at you?
Well, wearing your old number 14 down there, Travis Luley, and Jason Soriano. What a performance from the senior here today. Up the middle on 4th down. Plow it in. No signal. And I think he's down on the 1. Tweedsmuir comes up with one more goal line stop here. And they can take that small victory away at the end of the day.
A really nice job by these young guys from Van College coming into the game. Guys who, they really do play such a critical role in contributing to team success, given looks. Some of these guys I'm sure probably played on the JV earlier in the year, and for them to get an opportunity to come out here and play, it's meaningful. And look at
here comes the Gatorade, Travis. It's coming for Coach Burnett.
Is it going to land on Coach?
They got him distracted. Oh, he saw it. He saw it coming.
Ah, he took it like a man.
There you go.
Like a champ.
He sure did. He sure did. I think it was actually the Grey Cup as we're winding down here. But Dickinson saw the same thing, it was O'Shea that saw it coming. He kind of cringed and closed his eyes like he knew it was coming, but he wanted to take it. And that's the best bath you're ever going to get right there. A Gatorade bath is the Vancouver College Fighting Irish are your 2019 Subway Bowl champions. Congratulations to Coach Burnett and the entire staff there at Vancouver College. And congratulations out to Coach Thornton and the Lower Tweedsmuir Panthers as well on a fantastic season and reaching the Subway Bowl, and just ran into an absolute juggernaut in the Fighting Irish. What a season and what a game here for the Purple and Gold. Cue the cool in the gang, Travis. It's time to celebrate.
It's time to celebrate. The rowers remain standing. You won the over, Jake.
Thank you. I told you.
And, yeah, this Van College cheering section all on their feet now, recognizing their team. as you mentioned, Jake, just, a ton of credit and respect to this Lord Tweedsmuir team. Incredible run to get here. I know what it feels like to be on the losing end of a championship game at high school level. And though it stings, you're going to remember this a long time and look back with a lot of smiles and good memories. So a lot of credit to them. But, today was about Van College and earning the right to be provincial champs this afternoon.
Well, handshakes will take place. We know our game MVP. It's Jason Soriano, no question about that. One other shout out and thank you I want to get in is to all the officials that refereed all year long and to officials alike across the province here in football, and the job that they do sometimes gets scrutinized a little too much, sometimes gets unnoticed, but again, no referees, no game, and I thought those guys throughout the playoffs, all the crews, just did a wonderful job.
They did. I think you're right, and just by and large, it's a thankless job. And when you're not talking about them, they're doing the best job, right? So,
and we didn't talk about them.
We didn't. That's what I was going to say. It's a pretty dang clean game, and that's what you hope to see, particularly in a championship setting. Let the players decide it, and that's what we saw today. So, you're absolutely right. Tip your hat to those officials.
There he is, the MVP, Jason Soriano. What a performance here tonight at the Subway Bowl. 4 receiving touchdowns and a pick-6 defensive touchdown, as he puts up 30 of the 45 points here on his own. As the celebration on now for the Fighting Irish. We'll let the video run here for you from BC Place as the trophy presentation and MVP presentations are to come here from BC Place. You can catch him right here on Sports Canada TV. For now, we will bid you adieu. I can't believe it. Another high school football season is over. Once again, your final score, Van College 45, Lord Tweedsmuir 0. And your 2019 Subway Bowl champions are the Vancouver College Fighting Irish. For everybody here at Sports Canada TV and everybody involved with high school football here in British Columbia, thank you to you for tuning into the game of the week all year long, and the playoffs here at BC Place over the last few weeks. A final thanks to our sponsors, Subway, Baden, MVP, Pro Team, Riddell, Barron, Indigo, and Kahuniverse. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much for your support here in BC high school football. For the final time here this year, for Travis Lule, I've been Jake Kelly, and for the Pigskin and the Gridiron, we'll talk to you in 2020.